always goes. So I'm gonna try to. There's Miss Iris. See, I was kind of stalling, so I knew Miss Iris would come. Let's see. Let me mark her present. Y'all, we are so like we are to the point where we have completers, and whenever you're a completer, you earn a t-shirt. Okay. So I'll be asking y'all what size of a shirt you want and what color. If you remember, we have, I'll show y'all next week, but we have a coral pink color, a aqua blue, and a gray. And I think the largest size I have is 3X, and the smallest size I have is a small. So y'all be thinking what y'all might want if you're a completer. And if you're not sure, like Miss Iris, you're a completer. Nora knows she is. Miss Barbara, of course, you hadn't even missed a class.
Oh,
Miss Linda, you're close to getting another sweatshirt, which we still have to get you right on the other one. Who else is on here? Miss Irene, let's check you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got one more class, Miss Irene, and you'll be a completer. Miss Iris, I already said you. So everybody on here, you will be a completer. We have 4 classes left to go. So y'all think what color of shirt you want and what size. And I can put that in the mail to you. So congratulations. That's what it takes is just your
Yep.
dedication to come to
Maybe.
class.
Get over here.
And
Get
we
over here.
all like a good t-shirt, don't we?
Yeah.
Now, I'm just walking, opening, closing my hands, and getting my body warmed up. Good gracious, the cold weather came back. We had like summer this weekend, and now it's just cool outside. And I wasn't ready for 90 degrees, y'all. As much as I love the cool or the hot temperatures, I needed a little bit more transition time. So.
your hair looks good, Jennifer.
Ma'am?
Your hair
Oh, thank
looks good.
you.
We're
Thank
probably gonna get hot, but it looks good.
I get my hair trimmed tomorrow, so I wanted to fix it today, and I went to my hairstylist place and told her what I wanted done tomorrow, but I wanted her to see it fixed so she knew what I was talking about because tomorrow I'll go in with perfectly flat, clean hair. So she didn't have to
Oh,
worry about messing with hair that's not, that has hairspray and all that stuff in it. Just saves her a step. I like her to wash my head, but I also like to, you know, help her out if I can.
tell her what you like.
That's right. So, but it's getting so long. I don't know if I've had hair this long in ages.
I've never seen it that long.
Y'all don't see it that much because I usually have it in one of these little things clipped up
Yeah.
because I'm too lazy to fix it every day. Do y'all get lazy? I just run out of time. That's all it is. All right, let's go with our stretches for each of our major joints. And these movements help with the flexibility of our neck and shoulders, spine, helps with reducing tension and stiffness. We want to be mobile, and these movements right here help us with that. So let's start with our neck, bringing our hands up, turn and pulling towards us, pushing away and following those hands all the way down. Eating lots of protein will help your hair grow too, right, Miss Barbara?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, other neck exercise where we look towards that shoulder, going side to side. Even in our warm-ups, we go slow, smooth, and continuous. Stuck on this one. This feels good on my neck. Let's go to our shoulders, rolling those shoulders forward and then back. Feels like a good massage. Big circle, thinking about gathering. Gathering sun and filling my soul with it. Great one to practice breath, especially if you're seated. You don't have to worry about balance. You just have to breathe and go through this motion. Inhale up and exhale as you push down. Now for our spine, coming from our ball, excuse me, separating, stretching that spine. Side to side. Remember, this movement prepares us for our waving hands and clouds. Lower body, shifting to one leg, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, and toe back, hands forward. Remind yourself to breathe in case you're holding your breath for concentration. Hopefully you're feeling your legs getting stronger and you're more able to do this. But if you're still not there, it's okay. Hold on to a chair, have a wall nearby, or this table here is very heavy. It's not going anywhere. But practice holding weight on one leg so your muscles become strong and are able to stabilize you. Excuse me. Back to center and shifting side to side. Tapping that foot out. Keeping our hands within our frame. We're remaining upright. We're not leaning into our move or leaning into our weight shift.
Yeah, inside cutting something for me. It was a little cool out here. I was gonna let her do it out here, but it's cold.
For our knees, shift weight, lift, tap, and punch. Bring it back, take your time.
Oh boy.
By going slowly, we're keeping weight on one leg longer. You may feel your toes kind of grab the floor within your shoe.
Check on mom. Oh, this forget I'm they can hear me. She better.
Step forward. So we're going to step forward just a small step. We're going to shift weight to the front foot, keeping both feet flat on the floor, and punch the opposite hand. Bring it back, feet side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Bring it back, feet side by side. Almost feels like I'm in slow motion because I am. But I find it challenging to slow down. Everything else out in the real world is fast and hurry, hurry, which makes Tai Chi class extra nice. But sometimes it's hard to transition. All right, now for our ankles, shifting weight to one leg and then heel, toe, heel, toe. The foot, shift the weight, heel, toe, heel, toe. Back, shift the weight, little toe, big toe. Back and the other foot, big toe, little toe, side to side. Stiffness of your ankle is clear here as we move that foot back and forth. But we know strong ankles can help keep us from falling. All right, give yourself a good shake. So does everybody feel good about those warm-ups? You don't have any, I want to make sure that you understand how all of those moves work and that you're doing them correctly. All right. Well, I just don't want to ever rush through them like we've been doing them. So of course you know them. So we're going to go through our basic six. We want to be very familiar with basic six. We want to know the moves so well that our bodies can do them without us even thinking about it. And our bodies go through the motions, and then we can focus on one principle at a time. And so the movement control of slow, smooth, and continuous is the goal that we really have. Because when we first learn it, we're here where we go up, down, in, up, out, in. So it's more choppy, but we want to be more smooth with it and continuous. As soon as we come up, we go down. We just smoothly change directions throughout. So something I definitely want you to work towards is making the corners of those movements more smooth and not so sharp, one kind of jagged movement at the time. Now with commencement, we also want to think about weight shift with the hand direction. And so when our hand comes down, we shift right. When our hand goes out, the weight goes forward to that left foot. Open, close. Same thing with that single whip. Shift, step. When we adjust the weight forward to that front foot, our hands go out, turn, and separate. So there's several of those opportunities where weight shift and hand movement goes together. So the hand movement, I'm going this way and waving hands in clouds. I'm going and then shifting weight to that leg. My hand goes this way, my weight shift is going that way. So hands and weight shift go together. And I think when you start experiencing the connection between the hand movement and the weight shift, you really get the internal experience of our movements. So let's really think about those as we practice. I'm going to do it forward facing so you can make sure you see what's going on up front with my hands. And then I'm going to turn around and we're going to practice that several times. So it'll be easier for you to follow. And again, y'all let me know if there's any questions y'all have. From the top, make sure you check your posture. We're breathing. Here we go. And commence. Hands come up, down, shift right. Place that left foot out, hands in and up. Shift left as they go out, right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Single whip, shift left, step right, adjust weight, turn and separate. Waving hands in clouds, shift left, bring that right foot right and back, waving hands. Step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn. I'm getting ahead of my words. But we're going towards slow, smooth, and continuous. So that's what's difficult about staying with the words. Everything is so smooth. So you see, we're stepping and switching at the same time. Close. Close it out. So any questions on what's going on out front before I turned around? All right. Follow me. Let's practice our basic 6. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. And close. Close it out. How was that?
Good.
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 Is it easier for me to turn around for you to follow?
Yes, ma'am.
I like it both.
You like it both?
The hand
Either
movement.
way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Let's do it again. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. So we know by repetition, we get better and better at it. Let's do it one more time, and then there'll be a couple of parts I'll talk about. Thinking slow, smooth, continuous. Thinking continuing to breathe. Upright posture, not grabbing any tension in our shoulders as we raise our hands. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. And close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. And close. And close it out. Footwork. So in single whip. So when I say we are shifting and we're stepping, okay? So we're not taking a big step. I mean, we know that because we know everything in Tai Chi is small. We don't do anything big. But what you're doing is stepping into a staggered stance. So one foot is slightly further up than the other. So we shift weight, we place the foot out there, which is called an empty step. Then we adjust the weight to where there's weight on both legs. When we adjust that weight, that's when we push our hands out before we turn our palms away and separate. So that's that other connection where we connect the weight shift with the hand movement. But the way we're placing our feet in that single whip in a staggered stance, I want you to think about this stance right here as being a very stable stance. We're wide. Our knees have that slight bend to them. And then, of course, our feet aren't side by side. If you're ever somewhere where you're in a crowd You're in a line, you're having to stand for a long period of time. Perhaps you have a fear that someone's going to bump into you and maybe knock you down, or at least that's your fear. This stance right here is a good stance to be in. So this is practical information, because if I'm here, my knees have that slight bend. Somebody comes at me this way and knocks into me, I can bend into that back leg and catch myself. If somebody comes at me this way, I can bend into that knee and catch myself. If I were to be here where my feet are right beside each other and my legs are locked, somebody knocks into me, then I'm more likely to fall down. So keep that in mind. Staggered stance. If you're on your feet for a long time, start with one foot forward, and then if you get tired, then switch and put the other foot forward. But that staggered stance is a stable stance to be in. So when you have a wider stance, your feet are even a little wider than hip width. That helps you be more stable. Remember that. But that's the position you're getting yourself into for the single width. You shift, you step forward, and you adjust to now there's weight on both legs. And then you finish that move. Right. So that's something to think about with our single width. With our waving hands in clouds, this is something that I continually catch myself getting wrong. And that is empty step, shift completely, and then lifting this foot and placing it as a follow step. So we're Tai Chi walking to the side, right? We shift, empty step, shift, lift, and follow step. So I'm going from a little wider than hip width to hip width. What am I always catching myself doing wrong? Here's what. I step, shift, and then instead of lifting this foot and placing, I kick and then place it. So I'm pushing off of the floor and stepping in as that follow step. What I want to be doing is taking all the weight off and then lifting and follow step. Shift, step. And sometimes it's because I've stepped a little bit too far, and the only way to get that foot off the floor is to kick it off of the floor. So practice Tai Chi walking and practice the empty step, which is no weight, to giving all your weight to it, to lifting and putting that foot down beside it. So it's something I always catch myself doing, is kicking off right there. Not the end of the world if that's what we do, as long as we stay upright. But I truly want to practice that, having that strength in my leg. The more I have that weight on that foot, the more I have that weight over top of that foot and ankle, then the more stable I'll be. And kicking off is pushing and throwing me off. All right. So thinking about foot placement with the single whip, stepping forward, adjusting the weight into a staggered stance, and then proper foot placement through our waving hands in clouds to where it's not too wide and you're not having to kick off. And this comes with practice, because all of our legs are different lengths and our steps are just a little bit different. We want to keep it small. We want to stay in our frame as we do waving hands and clouds. All right, so let's practice again all the way through. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Shift the weight, lift and follow step. Open, close. Single whip. Focusing on my steps has made me forget what number I'm on. We know there's only 6, but I'm really thinking about that empty step and not kicking off. So then I lost track of what number I was on. So I may have done 4, I may have done 6, I may have done 8. Not real sure. But that's the beauty of practicing our Tai Chi, thinking about all the different principles, and then we get better at one principle at the time with the goal of being able to do it all together and at once. And if you do an extra because of it, it's okay. All right. Again, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to do the movements. Follow me. And begin. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. So last week our focus was on the seated version and how to do it all seated and all the different ways to do the seated. And so now we're standing and focusing on our principles through our basic 6 movements. Anybody have any questions about this or any feedback? Do you know what our principles are? We have 3 main categories. We have movement control, body structure, and internal components. Those are our 3
I didn't know that.
That's what they are. And when you get your shirt, most of them are on the shirt. Under movement control, our principles are slow, smooth, and continuous. So you've heard me say that a lot of times. Under movement control is gentle resistance. Now, I choose to focus on the word gentle because if I focus on resistance, then I start going too hard into the movement. But gentle resistance is like moving against weighted air. So when you come up, it's like the air is heavy. Up, down, like you're pulling and pushing through air. When you have that open and close, it's like you're pulling an accordion and pushing an accordion. But it's gentle, it's not hard, and I tend to make it hard. So I have to focus on the word gentle. Gentle resistance, but that's in our movement control, is gentle resistance. And that helps us engage muscle, and there's a sense of power to that feeling that, you know, lends or comes into Tai Chi and just makes us feel good. Next, under body structure, that's where I talk about upright posture. And so we want to take our principles and incorporate them into our lives. Upright posture is always a good thing because if we're leaning, we're already going towards falling. So keeping an upright posture, so our shoulders are back, but they're relaxed. There's no tension there. And that's how we want to move upright. Under body structure, our other principle is weight transfer. And so of course, when we talk about weight transfer, it's what's going on with our feet or our legs. When we step empty, so we don't immediately give a foot weight. Then we transfer the weight. Empty, then we transfer the weight. So we do a lot of weight transference throughout our movements. Weight transference, obviously, is keeping weight on one leg. Because we do it slowly, one leg is holding our weight for longer periods of time. And then when we step empty, it makes that time that much longer. So the longer we can hold weight on one leg, the stronger that leg's going to be, the less likely we are to fall. So weight transfer is a huge part of Tai Chi and why it's so helpful in falls prevention. So those are the movement control and body structure principles of Tai Chi. The third component is internal, and those are song, which is an open joint, SONG, and that's what I talk about, not locking your elbows, not locking your knees, keeping some air in your armpits, like your arms are away from your body, and that allows energy to flow through open joints. And when I was in training several weeks ago, we talked about opening our hips by standing and kind of grabbing the floor with the outside of our feet. And if you experience that by grabbing the floor with the outside of your feet, you'll feel your hips open. So, but we want our joints to be open so that energy can flow, that life energy. And by doing Tai Chi, we're increasing that life energy, and opening our joints allows it to flow. And then the final part of internal is Jing, and that is that mental quietness. You don't get it so much in class because I talk a lot in class, but those moments when we do it without talking, where we can just kind of sit into it, enjoy the move, and just breathe and not have any words. We're just right there in the moment in our moves, is a sense of mental quietness. Tai Chi is often called meditation and movement because so many people have a hard time keeping their mind clear and being still at the same time. So in Tai Chi, when you're moving, it's meditation, but in movement. And you know, a lot of our movements are very circular. And there's something about the circle that is relaxing and calming, right? So we do these, the waving hands in clouds, that our hands are kind of more of an ellipse than a circle, but there's a relaxing component to it. So our movements are circular. And then when we're quietly breathing through these movements, then we get that mental quietness. Our body's busy, so our brain can be clear rather than our body's being still and then our mind gets busy. So I like that about Tai Chi, is that my body's busy. So those are our principles: movement control, body structure, and internal components. So I probably say slow, smooth, and continuous a lot. Remind you of our upright posture a lot. Those are probably the two that are the easiest to kind of deal with, right? And so a way to practice is to go through each of those principles with those movements. So that's what I try to get y'all to do is go through that movement. Think slow, smooth, continuous. Go through the movement and think about the times when you can do gentle resistance. You're not going to do resistance the whole time. There has to be like an ebb and a flow, or a hard and a soft movement or moment to the movements. Now, when we get to our advanced movements, so let's talk about advanced movements in terms of gentle resistance in that hard and soft, because I think it's especially evident there. So when we go to the left first with our brush knee. So here, brush knee. There's that softness here. And then the delivery of the hand with the weight shift, there's a kind of a hardness to that. Resist as I push, follow step. Play the lute, step back. There's a softness in that change of my hands. And now resist as I shift and switch my hands. Follow step. So there's a softness in the change of my hands and a gentle resistance as I shift and change my hands. Soft. I hate to say hard, but it's the opposite of soft. So when I say hard, it's a gentle version of hard, okay? Gentle, hard. Here, there's the gentleness to this. And push the tiger, we can imagine that gentle resistance. Open, close. So we can see in our advanced 6 that it's yin and yang, it's opposites. So a softness, and it usually, the resistance part usually happens on the weight transfer. Boom. The soft happens with the change of and the get ready to weight transfer, and that's when that resistance presents itself. Soft, resist. Soft, resist. Soft in the change, resist in the weight shift. Soft, and resist with the weight shift. So you see, to me, it's real evident in our advanced 6, the yin and yang of our movements. But don't get caught up in resistance like I did and try to make it into a big time fight, because that's what I got caught up in, the resist part, I forgot about the gentle resistance. All right, so let's practice again. Basic 6, and then we're going to talk more about advanced 6. So make us feel good by doing the basic 6. And then challenge us with the advanced. Open, close. Single whip. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. And close it out. Found some moments with gentle resistance in our basic 6 as well, because they're there. To me, it's just not as easy to explain as whenever we're in our advanced. All right, advanced 6, starting with knee. And so, I told you a while ago, we're talking about hand movement in relationship with the weight shift. So in our commencement, when our hands come down, my weight goes down to that right foot. When my hands go forward, my weight goes forward to that left foot. When I do single whip, I step. When I adjust, my hands go forward. So there's a hand movement with the weight shift. So in brush knee, where we go to the left first, we shift left, we turn that right toe in, and when we shift right, we reach that right hand out. So see, there was that opportunity for weight shift and hand movement. My left hand comes over this elbow. Now I bring my left foot, left hand back so that I can step. Bring that right hand up and turn my hand. Shift left as I push and follow step. So this is one of those times that I keep my body upright. Whenever I feel like I want to lean as I push that hand. I don't know if y'all feel that tendency to want to lean as I push. And so if you're like me and you do, resist that and keep that body upright for safety, because if you go leaning, then you go towards falling. Okay, so brush knee, hands are facing each other because we've just come from open and close. We shift left, turn that right toe in. We shift right, reach that right hand out. The left hand comes, protects over the elbow. I bring my left foot back and my left hand comes to my hip. Step left, bring that right hand up, turn my hand. Now I'm going to push as I shift the weight and then follow step right. So I've went from facing the front to facing the left. And you noticed when I pushed that hand out that I kept the soft bend in my elbow. I didn't go out. I didn't lock my joint. I kept that soft bend. And that's what we talk about, an open joint or a song joint that allows the energy to flow through our bodies. So we're going from the front to facing to the left. Okay. So let me turn around and we're going to practice just brush knee going to the left. So this is the left when I'm turned around. Shift left, right toe in. Now shift right as I reach out that right hand. My left hand protects my elbow. Bring my left foot and left hand back. Now step left, bring that right hand beside my ear almost. Shift left as I push that right hand and then follow step right. So again, notice I have my upright posture. When I extended that right hand, I kept the soft bend. So when I follow stepped right, in theory, I gave no weight to my follow step foot. And that's the case all the way through our advanced 6. When we follow step, that's the end of the movement, and that foot gets no weight because it's the first step of the next movement. Now, what makes this advanced movement a little bit difficult is that it is kind of unnatural in the way that we typically walk. So we step, and then our next step is forward, and then our next step is forward. So that's how we normally walk. And so I'm giving you a reason why it feels sort of awkward, that when we step, shift, and when we follow step, we go from being behind to still being behind. And so that feels a little bit awkward, but that's just the way it is. And then the next step, we're going to step back again, shift, and then we do it again. I step back, but I don't step back. So that's just something that we get used to, is that stepping. I guess it's kind of called half stepping, where we step, shift, and follow step. It's a half step, whereas a full step would be up here. I think that's what makes those a little bit difficult, is our feet don't step the same way that we typically walk. So coming from facing against you, going to the left, or facing away from you, going to the left with our brush knee. Shift left, right toe in. Shift right and reach right. Left protects the elbow. Bring that left foot, left hand back. Step left. Hand comes up beside my ear. Shift as I push. And follow step right. Brush knee. Again, remember, my back is facing you, so you follow me as is. So my left is really my left. My right is really my right. I'm not mirror image. I'm going to the left. Brush knee. Shift. Right toe in. Shift and reach. Separate, prepare. Step. Get our right hand ready to shift and push. Follow step right.
When you follow step right, there's no weight on that right.
Say that again.
Is that what? When you follow step right, there's no weight on that right?
That's correct.
It's all okay.
All the
It's
weight
still
is
up
on
front.
your left foot. So you follow step right, no weight. Now, let's just say you go, ooh, I'm a little bit out of balance, and you give weight to your right foot for your safety. That's fine. Just know, in order to start that next move, which is play the lute, you have to remove the weight off of that right foot so you can step back. And now notice how small these steps are. We go from right behind to only a little bit further back. So we never take these big steps because we can't move around like that. And so I think that's another thing that's a little challenging, is just how small our steps really are. We go from here to here. So we kind of halfway of where our foot was, we move back. So next week, we'll continue to work on these advanced movements. So I want to give you the experience with seated, really focusing on our basic 6, and now moving into being more comfortable with our advanced 6. But most importantly, that you're comfortable with those basic 6. These advanced 6 is just our nice challenge. It's nice to challenge ourselves. Any questions?
Would you say we get all the benefits with the basic 6
Oh, yeah,
of Tai Chi?
You can get all the benefits from just doing the warm-ups. How?
Oh, okay.
It's because when you do this with principles in mind, that's where the benefits come from. So if you think about our warm-ups, okay, the very beginning where we do our neck, what are we doing? Slow, smooth, continuous. What are we doing? We're upright posture. What's a possibility? Can we do gentle resistance? Oh yeah, we can come up as we're coming through heavy air. We can come down as we're going through heavy air. So if we incorporate those principles, or I'm doing commencement, sorry. We can do the principles Let me go back to my actual neck. I'm sitting here doing commencement because they're very similar. Our hands are just different. Our palms are down. Here we go. See? Look at that. Gentle resistance. What do you mean? Pulling towards us, turning, pushing away. How about that for gentle resistance? Coming all the way down. Of course, upright posture all the way through. Slow, smooth, continuous, gentle resistance, upright posture. What else? Look right here. Not locked joint. I have an open joint. My knees have a soft bend in them, open joint. I'm keeping space in my armpit as I go here, side to side.
One. Yes, sir.
So see, I'm using my principles in my warm-ups. So I've had classes in person before at a senior center and at a nursing home where they only did the warm-ups for 12 weeks. That's all they did. Used to the class was 12 weeks, not 16. You can get the benefits. Now let's talk about weight transfer, which I talked about being so important to our strength of our legs. I always kind of give y'all a warning when we get to our hips, right? And I'm like, this is where I want to kind of warn you. Get a chair, have your wall nearby, a table, something that if you lose your balance, you can rely on, or if you're just nervous about it when we get to our hips, because what do? Transfer weight so that we can do that. I call it a leg swing, right? So we're shifting weight. We shift weight as we place that toe out. Shift weight, place that toe out. We shift weight, we step, and we come back. So you see, we follow principles even in our warm-ups, and we get those benefits of reducing the stress and anxiety that we feel. It helps us relax with our breath, slowing down our movement. It strengthens our muscles, even in our warm-ups. You think about it, improves our balance and coordination. Just being able to go through those motions, practicing those motions helps with our coordination. Of course, even with our ankles, what do we talk about? Increasing the flexibility, improving mobility, reducing tension and stiffness in our joints. So yes, we can get the benefits even in our warm-up. So not just basic 6. So to not overwhelm you, I just want in a beginner class to everyone to feel very comfortable with basic 6 and not be overwhelmed with the advanced movements. If we learn it, great. If we feel comfortable with them, wonderful. But at least with our basic 6, having the ability to do them seated and standing, different versions of those basic 6 movements based on how we feel each day, knowing how to listen to our bodies and adjust to take care of ourselves so that we do get the benefits. All right, that was a big old long answer, wasn't it? But it came with demonstration, so maybe it was meaningful. All right, so let's tell our legs thank you for working so hard. Give them a little fist massage. Y'all remember to be thinking about shirt sizes and color. And I'll ask y'all next week. And I don't have to wait until the 16th week. If you're already a completer, I'm happy to go ahead and send you your t-shirt. And then maybe I can see you wearing it on camera. That would be awesome. We might
true to
take
size?
a picture. Huh?
Are they true to size? They run small or large or what?
To me, the gray short sleeve runs smaller than the coral and the teal one.
Okay.
I have a small in the coral and the teal, and my gray one is a medium.
So will you wear one next week so we can see your medium?
Uh-huh. And they're men's sizes, so
Okay.
they're not lady sizes.
Gotcha. Okay. Mhm.
Miss Linda,
Yeah.
do you have input on sizing? Like, do you have advice for them? Because you have t-shirts.
Well, I got the large because I like mine to be loose.
Okay. But they're so soft. The coral and the teal one are the softest. Like, I think it's called like beach something. Like it's like a shirt you've had forever and it just got softer and softer, but it's like
Yeah.
that. The gray one is like thinner material and it's soft, but not like that coral and teal one are. But I got a gray one because not everybody likes to wear color. But if I don't remember to wear it, I have them here at the office so I can hold them up to me or put one on over my clothes. Or step out of camera and put it on. All right, we have our right fist representing our strength, our left fingers together, our friendship, our thumb in our humility. We put those together and in mutual respect, we say namaste.
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 All right, ladies. Well, thank y'all so much. If y'all need me, let me know. I'm around. And if not, I'll see y'all next Tuesday, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you
Bye-bye.
too.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye-bye.